What's up, everybody? Subaru fan here from Mustang with the update number 27 on this Friday. So, what's new with the Mustang? Well, I just had an oil change today. This is the third oil change for this car now, so almost 15,000 miles on it, racking them up pretty good. And so, yeah, I mean, everything's good. You know, just rotated the tires while I was there. And I also had them inspect the charge pipes, because if you follow the Mustang 6G forums, that's my favorite forum for the 2015 Mustang, a lot of people were talking about their charge pipes blowing off. The charge pipes are the pipes leading to and from the intercooler, and especially whenever you do a tune with the higher boost levels, those charge pipes like to pop off. And some people have reported that from the factory they were only hand tightened, so they weren't even like tightened down. So that's one thing that everyone's suggesting everyone else do, is go check your charge pipes. And so I mean, they're a little tricky to get to some of them, so I just, since I had it in for the oil change, I figured I'd just make sure they're all tight. I haven't had any issues with mine blowing off or anything, but just wanted to make sure they're all tight, good to go. So for those of you out there with EcoBoost Mustangs, something to check if you didn't know about that already. Another thing is thanks to some of you guys for talking, leaving comments last week talking about the cooled seats in the Mustang, and some of you have said that the back part of yours is fine and that it does get cold. And so I thought that it was just the way they were, but I appreciate everyone chiming in. It sounds like there might actually be an issue with my seats that are causing them to not cool properly. So that's something that's going to take a few more hours for the dealership to you know, figure out what's going on and fix that. So I'm going to book a separate appointment for them to do that. But I appreciate all your feedback. This is why it's great doing these updates and hearing from you, and a great exchange of information here. So yeah, very cool, and hopefully I'll have cooled seats that actually work properly here in a few weeks. I mean, this was one of the first in the production runs. You know, this is one of very early production Mustang, so there probably are a few teething issues, and that's one of them, I'm assuming. And I would guess that those of you that have cooled seats that work fine probably or maybe later production, but I could be wrong. It could have just been mine and it was a fluky thing. But I don't think there's any recalls out yet or anything like that, so maybe it's just a fluky thing on mine. But anyway, so that's that as far as all the updates on the Mustang. Otherwise, you know, it's running great still. And so yeah, I'll send it back to me at the news desk for this week's news. Right, for this week's news, the first thing is an update on the whole Top Gear thing. So, you know, Top Gear is probably going to continue on with new hosts, and they're going to start totally fresh because all three want to work together. And so there's a news story here saying that you know, Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May are all in talks with Netflix for a new show called House of Cars, which is very clever. You know, Netflix has the hit show House of Cards. And so the House of Cars, of course, would just obviously be a car show. Who knows what they would be doing, if it'd be Top Gear in style or what. But apparently the producer, Andy Willman, who was the executive producer for Top Gear, he's also along with this whole thing. So it sounds like it would be true to the original Top Gear kind of style and stuff. It wouldn't be anything weird, hopefully. But that's very exciting to hear, and I think Netflix it's awesome, you know, as more and more shows and things are starting to become online and go away from traditional TV programming. This would be a huge leap towards, you know, in favor of the internet and on-demand stuff like YouTube and Netflix. So very exciting to see that. Hopefully that pans out. Another thing that a lot of you will be excited to hear about is more updates on the Scion FR-S. So just last week, I detailed all the updates for the 2016 model year for the FR-S and how underwhelming it was. And I mentioned that I heard that for the 2018 model year, coming in 2017, we'll be seeing some updates to the FR-S here and the BRZ that actually are larger changes. And now there's a new report this past week saying that actually this update is going to come for the 2017 model year, so it'll be coming next year. So here's what we're hearing. It's not going to be any kind of STI versions or stupid fast turbo versions or anything like that. These are what they're, so apparently there's Toyota insiders that were speaking with Motoring magazine in Australia, and so they gave all kinds of details here. First is that it will get more power, but they said it's going to be very minor, because what they're going to be doing is a new intake manifold in addition to friction reductions that allow for 5% more grunt. So if you do the math, that comes out to be about 210 horsepower and 159 pounds-feet of torque here in America. So last week I said if we do get more power, it'll be slight. That's even slighter than I was expecting. So 10 more horsepower, which again, just a little disappointing. They said this will also give you slightly better fuel economy, which I don't think anyone really cares about. The car already gets plenty good fuel economy already. But in addition to the 10 extra horsepower, they also said that there's going to be some dampers, some new suspension dampers by Sachs, and it's also going to have a reinforced subframe. And then as far as styling stuff, they said that it's not going to depart too much from the current body style because it's still tied to the BRZ, and so the two of them have to share a lot of the same body components as far as fenders and doors and things like that. But the things that will be changed, this is for the FRS now. I don't know if the BRZ will reflect these changes as well, or if they're going to go in a slightly different direction for the BRZ or what. But for the FRS, they're saying that it's going to have a new hood that has vents in it, which could be cool. Reshaped headlights, which was expected, and a revised fascia in the front there, front bumper with a larger lower grille, so a more aggressive opening there, larger mouth. And then in the rear, they said there's going to be a new rear diffuser, and exhaust pipes are going to be at the corners still. So there was, with the STI concept, an idea of a center exhaust, but it looks like it's still going to be at the corners. Sounds like good things. Just, obviously wish there was more power, but who knows? This is what the FRS is getting. Subaru might be able to go down a different path, and since they do have the WRX motor, it might work for them to put the turbo version out there instead of Toyota, who doesn't really have rights to that WRX engine. Who knows? I think Subaru still is pretty adamant about not putting any kind of faster engine in the car, and considering these are still sharing the same assembly line, it's probably going to still have the same engine. It'll probably get the same power bump as the FRS, but that's all the updates for next year, reportedly. Now, this is still just rumors, but this sounds pretty close to the stuff that I've been hearing, and so it'd be cool if we get it next year, and it'll be interesting to see what changes they actually end up making. And so for some exciting news of stuff being developed, obviously the epic 2017 Ford GT that was debuted at Detroit, well, it was actually spied testing, and they didn't even bother putting camouflage on it because, one, it's going to look exactly like the concept car, it seems, and two, you can't hide a body shape like that. You just can't do it. And so they have it in matte black, and I mean, you thought it looked good in silver or blue. This matte black, oh man, from certain angles especially, just so sweet. I am in love with this car. If I won the lottery, that would definitely be the first car I'd place an order for, I think. That thing is so sweet. And so, yeah, very exciting stuff there. And, it's due at the end of 2016. So, coming pretty quickly. So there's no any updates really as far as what else is going to be going on with the car for the production version, but looks awesome. So cool to see that thing out being tested. In other cool Ford news, there's been some minor updates to the Mustang for the 2016 model year. First is there's going to be a California Special Edition, which they've always had in previous generations, and so it gets the typical treatment you normally see on California Specials. So it has a new grille, it has black hood vents, it has different wheels, it has the normal stripes that you see on the California Specials. They have new black taillight treatments, which it looks kind of cool. There's only one picture here of the taillights to really get a picture of what it looks like. It doesn't look that much different, but it does look a little bit darker, which would be really sweet. Hopefully that's something that's an easy mod for 2015 owners. And it has a special gas cap there in the back, and on the inside it has the suede inserts in the seats, which is always cool, and a special badge there on the dash. And that's about it. Another thing though is all 2016 Mustang GTs get a very cool retro feature of the turn signal indicators in the hood vents, so that they're pointing towards the driver so the driver can see them whenever they're indicating. And that's something that of course was taken from the 67 and 68 Mustang GTs that had those. And you know how much I love retro things? Well, that makes me want a GT even more. That is so awesome. I did not expect that whatsoever, but apparently they said that owners were requesting it. I don't know where the request line is, but I would like to get on that because I would love to request some more retro things, but that is awesome. So that alone makes me want a 2016 just for those turn signal hood vents. Hopefully they'll be an easy retrofit for 2015 GT owners. The other thing for 2016 is the whole Ford lineup will be getting the new Sync 3 head unit technology, which is a significant improvement in many ways. It has the capacitive touchscreen instead of the old school touchscreen that they used to have in the 2015s and earlier, and the new layout, which is similar to Dodge's Uconnect touchscreen. And I personally don't like the way the layout looks. It's very white and bland. And but you know, a lot of people like it. It's quicker, it's more intelligent, and should alleviate some of the issues that people have had with the current sync technology. So that's it as far as all the Mustang news for 2016. There's a few other things though, actually a few small things. There's a new black package that you can get a black roof, you can get black stripes now on the car. There's also a pony package you can get now, which replaces the 50th anniversary package, since the 50th anniversary package was just for the 50th anniversary, you know, the 2015 model. So 2016 will still get the kind of corral grille and a few other things, not quite as extensive as the 50th anniversary kit, but very similar in style. And so that's cool. But anyway, the other side of the pony car spectrum here, the 2016 Camaro, which will be debuting, if you're watching this on Friday here, tomorrow. Otherwise, it's probably debuting as you're watching this. It's going to be at the big Camaro event there on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday here. But anyway, they teased us here currently as I'm filming this with the new 2016 Camaro Silhouette, which looks very, very similar to the current generation. And that's a common concern a lot of people have been having, is this car, from all the teaser shots, looks very similar to the current car. So hopefully it's a large enough departure in the styling department to win people over, because even if it's, you know, obviously totally brand new under the skin, people are going to want a car that looks a lot more modern. But, you know, Chevy really enjoyed the success of the current generation Camaro. It was a huge hit and people still love it, so they probably don't want to mess with the success too much, but hopefully it's a large enough departure to keep people happy. And one great news story, I love seeing stories like this. There's actually a couple of them. First, Subaru is boosting their production at their plant because they hit their sales goal that they wanted to do in 5 years. They hit it this year, so they're just blowing their sales figures just out of the park. So they're ramping up production at their Indiana plant, and so that's great to hear. Also, Fiat Chrysler Group, they normally have a summer shutdown for 2 weeks because of, you know, demand dies down a little bit. They build enough cars so they slow it down, but now it's looking like they're not going to have a summer shutdown. They're going to keep working all through the summer to keep up with demand. So I love seeing, you know, car companies having to keep up with demand. That's really great. Love to see car companies be successful, and it looks like Fiat Chrysler is doing very good right now, and so that's great to see. A car company that's not doing so great is AeroMobile, which a few weeks ago you might remember me reporting about this flying car that I already was, you know, I wasn't totally sold on the idea because we've seen many flying cars in the past that never materialized. Well, this one, they actually built it and they were doing test flights, and this past week it crashed. Thankfully the pilot was unharmed, and there was only minor damage to the vehicle itself, but obviously it still has a lot of work to be done before it's ready to be safe, if it ever will be safe. But so yeah, just sad to see that had crashed. But other car company news is Mazda and Toyota formally announced a partnership to make cars better. Not sure what that's going to, you know, entail, but Toyota's just been hooking up with everybody recently. Obviously, first was Subaru for the FRS and BRZ, and then they were, you know, hooking up with BMW to make the new Supra / whatever BMW gets out of it, a new Z4 or something like that. And now Toyota is partnering with Mazda. Who knows what they're going to be doing exactly here, whether it's going to be something to do with cars or if Mazda just wants Toyota's hybrid technology. We're not totally sure, because I mean right now Mazda has no hybrids, so that could be what they're going for here, but we'll see in the future what materializes out of this, but interesting to see that. Also, Dodge officially unveiled the ViperACR this past week. So there's been ACR Vipers, of course, in the previous generations, and so this new one, it's going to be $117,000 before you add on all the out-the-door fees. It's going to be more like $122,000 out the door, and it's only 5 extra horsepower, but it has large you know, rear wing, large front splitter. I mean, it's a race car basically. The suspension is heavily reworked, and obviously the enhanced aerodynamics and things, so it's more than just power. This is a race car for the streets basically, and it's meant for the track. So yeah, that's why no one really cares that it doesn't have more power. It's mostly just about the aero and things like that, and so that's expensive, but you know, I think that it's still, I mean, those things are amazing. I rode in the previous generation ACR around Virginia International Raceway, and that thing was amazing, so I can't imagine how the new version must handle the track. It's got to be amazing. So that's very cool to hear. Also, there's a report here that Land Rover is considering an Evoque SVR. So, you know, the current Range Rover SVR is a huge hit, you know, with this 550 horsepower Jaguar F-Type R motor. And so the Evoque SVR, they're thinking about doing just because, you know, people have been wanting a more powerful Evoque for a long time. They've just been continuing on with the standard 4-cylinder turbo motor in that car for several years now. And so they're finally considering a faster version. This faster version, though, they're not sure they could fit the V8 in this car, so what people are thinking is it will have a supercharged V6 out of the F-Type S or something like that, you know, the V6S, and so that's a pretty plausible thing. It still would give it 380 horsepower, which is a good bump over the, you know, 240 odd horsepower that the current Evoque has, and you know, I'm sure it'd have more aggressive styling and be much faster and more enjoyable car. And they said that it would be designed to go after the Porsche Macan if they do decide to make it. So that would be very cool to see. Speaking of Porsche, there was a new spy shots posted this week of the new Panamera, which as you can see, I think it's just another refresh of the Panamera because the body styling looks very similar to the current generation, just different headlights and taillights. And but this one running around was the e-hybrid spec, which is pretty cool to see that running around. But again, nothing crazy, and you know, so those hoping for a radical restyling of the Panamera to make it look better, doesn't look like that's going to be the case here. But I'm sure they'll work their magic, make it a little bit more modern looking, and be a good car. Also, Volkswagen and Audi Volkswagen Group teased two new concept cars. They actually unveiled them at this special event for owners called Wörthersee. And so the one that they first introduced was the Volkswagen GTI Club Sport concept, which is a 40th anniversary kind of edition with 261 horsepower. Again, just concept is the key word here. All we have are drawings of it. And so, you know, it'd be nice to see this make production, but they say there's no plans currently to bring the car to the U.S. If it even gets built. So, yeah, it'd be nice if we got that, but it looks cool. And the other cool thing, it looks very sweet, is they also were showing off this Audi TT Club Sport Turbo, which looks like a baby R8. I mean, it even has the side scoops, and this thing is nasty. 600 horsepower in an Audi TT. So it has the same basic 2.5 liter inline 5-cylinder, but it has two electric turbochargers, so the power comes on immediately. And they're saying this thing will do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, and has a top speed of over 192 miles per hour. But, of course, they're not going to build it because it would clearly encroach on the R8's territory. And it's a shame, though, because that would be really, really sick. So, but, yeah, just a concept, and cool to see what Audi can do in concept form. And the last story is that the McLaren 675 LT Longtail is already sold out. So for those that, you know, were disappointed, like myself, that the Longtail wasn't as long as we had originally thought it would be, it's obviously the more hardcore Speciale almost version of the McLaren, and it's already sold out, which is no surprise really. And so it's around, you know, I think they were pricing them around 400,000 bucks, so not cheap, but they're all sold out. So good to see that. Always, like I said, good to see car makers doing well. So that's it for all the news this week, guys. So send back to me in the car. Alright, so I'll leave you guys with a nice little acceleration here. Got the windows down, like I always do. Hopefully we can hear some turbo sounds. Really got the second gear chirp. So yeah, lots of fun. And one other thing I want to mention real quick is we passed 1,000 videos here on YouTube. So crazy. I was planning on doing a cool thing, but none of the plans that I had worked out. So it's all good, but I have some pretty sweet stuff in the works. Hopefully here over the next couple of weeks / months. It's going to be a good summer for car reviews and stuff. So just stay tuned for sure. And but yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Take care.